Hi everyone, welcome back to my podcast, Link Building Fundamentals. I'm George Blandford, co-owner of the Ology Group, and this is episode 4, helping you to work out which link building service you should use or link building approach. Now, obviously there's some context to that question in terms of your starting position, the budget that you might have, your level of competitors in the marketplace and the state of their SEO, and the level of involvement that you want to have in the process. So we'll dive into each of those things and hopefully give you some colour. Now, the first one is price. There's a very, very broad spectrum of costs when it comes to link building, and that can range from using a freelance, probably based overseas, all the way through to a very high profile international agency, one of the big ones probably based in London, that's going to charge you tens of thousands of pounds for SEO. Now, the difference between those two services largely comes down to the level of resource they're going to put into those campaigns and the deliverables at the end of it. Now, the freelancer might be able to find you a handful of reasonable links that tend to be more so on the spammy side in terms of the quality of the links you might be getting, and the scalability of that type of approach is pretty limited because as chances are it might be one or two people that are working together with a network of other publishers. Now, the big red flag with freelancers is when they potentially lean on blog networks, which we've covered before, and they may have a range of publishers that have, waves of footprints that will be rife for penalization with Google. So what I would say about using a freelancer is be very, very careful. If you can get recommendations, if you can look at case studies, previous placements that they've delivered for other clients, if you can speak to other clients that work with them, that's a great place to start. Diving into the types of approaches that you might use to get links, that leans into what an agency might offer you. Now, one or two agencies in the marketplace might offer you guest posting, which is pretty straightforward, but they may offer you link insertions. They may offer you a different type of link building method. Now, when you're assessing a service, you've got to start with your existing foundation. So you need to analyze your link profile or potentially work with an agency that will do that. And you need to look at the types of links that you've got, the methodology used to acquire those links, and where your gaps in your authority might sit. If you've done that in-house, you probably have an understanding for what you need. It may be just more middle tier weight from relevant publications. It may be digital PR. You may feel that you just need lots of signals coming through the door to indicate popularity and trust with users. But you need to make sure that the agency that you work with can offer that suitable range of products and they're not just trying to serve their own purpose. The next thing you need to consider is the level of involvement that you want to have in a campaign. A lot of agencies will do a done-for-you service, which is a nice way of saying they will decide the sites, they will decide the content, and a lot of them are very price-driven, and they'll just be delivering work which makes them a margin, and they'll disappear into a cloud of smoke for 4 weeks and then come back with a list of links they've delivered. And there's kind of not much you can do in terms of pushback on those deliverables. However, again, if you've got testimonials, if you've spoken to clients, you know the service has been good, that might serve a purpose. I would say if you're going to consider a done-for-you service, it's worth starting with a small order to make sure you're comfortable with what they're delivering, and then you can look to scale it from there. A deeper level of assessment and involvement would be an agency that allows you to screen the sites, take a look at the publishers. Maybe you've given them a brief, but you're able to do your own due diligence, look to make sure that a site has social proof, it's talking about subjects that are related to the business, the content's good enough, they're not linking out to public, client sites that might be problematic, like casino, Bitcoin, crypto, anything adult, pharmaceutical. Sometimes that can be a bit of a red flag. And a really good agency will offer you a much deeper relationship. So what we do, for example, with our premium service, is you get a dedicated account manager, get weekly updates, you get free strategic support. So we'll do link benchmarks, content gap analysis, authority gaps, we'll assess competitors, we'll even analyze your existing link profile, and we look at the methods that have been used to acquire those links and what competitors are doing, and we'll be able to highlight the best route forward in terms of ROI and where you should focus your energy. So that is a much deeper relationship. Now, for an agency, we also offer a white label service, which has been really good for a lot of the people that we work with, a lot of partners. We'll get on sales calls with their potential prospects. We'll do any answering of questions that may be difficult, any objection handling. We'll even do initial upfront audits. We'll help to sell in the benefit of the service. And then every few months, we'll give them enough evidence to document impact from the spend to keep customers happy. Same if you're a retail customer. Every 2 to 3 months, we'll do a deep assessment on impact. We'll make sure that the keywords that are attached to the pages that have received the links are moving in the right direction. So that's the kind of spectrum of a type of service, ranging from a freelancer that's going to kind of do what they want in limited quantities, all the way through to a high quality agency that's going to do proper assessment and strategy. They'll attribute spend. They'll make sure that whatever you're doing is having a meaningful impact. And if it's not, they'll make changes to make sure the next quarter activity does what it's meant to do. The other thing you need to consider is the level of due diligence that an agency will be doing on each of these publishing opportunities, these potential links. So a basic agency may just look at a single metric like DA or DR. There'll be a price attached to it and they'll expect you just to accept it, or they'll just take your money and place it anyway if it's non-approval. A proper agency will do much deeper due diligence. So for example, we have version 2 of our Mflux formula. It's been around 7 years, version 1, so we've updated it recently. And that formula is a blend of domain authority, domain rating, trust flow, spam score, and estimated traffic. So that's Majestic, SEMrush, Ahrefs, and Moz. And we've just recently brought in keyword ratios and keyword rankings. So making sure that that publisher ranks for keywords and an appropriate proportion of those keywords are in the top 20. So that indicates that the publisher has a decent sized link profile, meaning that it looks popular. Those links are close to proximity to trusted sources. That's trust flow. The estimated traffic bit is based on keyword visibility for SEMrush. And then the keywords ranking in a good ratio in the top 20 means that Google likes or trusts that content. So in theory, you've got a popular website, it's clean, it's close to trusted sources, and it ranks for keywords, meaning that any content that goes onto that site, i.e. the placements that we deliver, they've got a high probability of getting ranked for keywords related to that page and passing PageRank across to your website. That's the general broad spectrum of link building services. Now, in and around that, you've got asset link building, where you're using a tool or an asset to acquire links naturally. You've got methods like link insertions, authority edits, where you're going into age pages. And you've got the cream of the crop, which is digital PR, where you're getting coverage on tier 1, tier 2 publications. Whatever you choose to use, do your own due diligence, ask for referencing, make sure that there's client testimonials visibly, they can demonstrate some results, and ask to see suggested opportunities for your niche. So if you're in insurance or whatever it might be, have a look at the types of sites that that agency may want to include within that deliverable, and get some advice from them. If the agency is not happy to give you much strategy or say that it's not their responsibility, I would personally avoid them like the plague. Make sure that the advice that they're giving is sound and they're on hand to help you properly get the best out of your budget. But hopefully that's helpful. As an agency at Linkology and Reachology, the two agencies that we own, we offer the broad spectrum of services. We do offer a done for you service, but it still uses a core Mflux assessment, so it's better than what's out there for most non-approval agencies. Our main product, though, is Mflux V2, which is our premium assessment product. We've got Mflux Plus, which is a high quality link building service built in with very, very good quality content. And we have digital PR over at Reachology. So whatever you need, more than happy to sit down and go through the spectrum of services and suggest the right product for your needs. And we can do upfront assessment, strategy, whatever you might need, free of charge on the house to make sure that we're doing things in the right way. Anyway, bye for now, and look forward to seeing you on the next one. See you later.